What if I told you the only thing standing between you and your goals is your mindset? It's not about the circumstances you're facing, it's about how you choose to see them and react to them. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, day by day, challenge by challenge. And today, I'm going to show you how. We're talking about building an unbreakable spirit, a mindset so strong that it can overcome any obstacle. Life is going to throw you curveballs. It's going to test you, push you to your limits, and make you question everything. But it's in those moments, those defining moments, where true strength is forged. Your ability to control your mind in difficult situations, to stay focused when everything around you is chaotic, to rise above the negativity and the doubt. That's what defines your path. And you know what? You can too. Let's get real for a minute. Building mental toughness starts with radical self-awareness. It's about taking off the masks, dropping the pretenses, and looking in the mirror with brutal honesty. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. You can't conquer what you're not willing to face. So let's dive deep, confront those weaknesses head on, and understand the patterns that have been holding you back. What triggers you? What sends you spiraling into self-doubt or negativity? Is it fear of failure? Is it the need for approval? Or maybe it's that little voice inside your head telling you you're not good enough. But here's the thing. You don't have to let them control you. Think about a time you felt your resolve crumble, a time you gave in to those voices. What happened? What led up to that moment? And how did it make you feel? By understanding your triggers, by recognizing those patterns, you empower yourself to break free. This isn't about dwelling in negativity, it's about understanding the battlefield of your mind so you can prepare for the fight. It's about identifying the cracks in your foundation so you can rebuild stronger than ever before. Remember, this is a judgment-free zone. We're not here to criticize or condemn. We're here to excavate the truth, to shine a light on those hidden corners of ourselves that we've been avoiding. And in that process of self-discovery, we unlock the potential for incredible growth. So, I challenge you to be bold, to be courageous, and to be brutally honest with yourself. Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It doesn't occur when you're nestled in the familiar and the safe. It doesn't happen when things are easy and predictable. It happens when you face the unknown and the challenging. Real, lasting transformation occurs when you push past the boundaries of what you think you're capable of, when you stretch beyond your limits, when you embrace the fire of discomfort. It's in these moments that you discover your true strength. Think about it. When do you learn the most? When do you gain the most insight? When do you grow the most? Is it during times of ease or during times of challenge? Is it when everything is handed to you on a silver platter, without any effort on your part? Or is it when you're challenged, when you have to dig deep and find inner resources you didn't know you had? When you're pushed to your limits? When you're forced to rise to the occasion? The answer is clear. Discomfort is where growth happens. It's the crucible that shapes you. It's the crucible that forges resilience, the fire that tempers your spirit and makes you stronger. The fire that tempers your spirit, it's the adversity that builds character. So, how do we embrace discomfort? How do we make it a part of our daily lives? How do we step into the fire and emerge stronger on the other side? It starts with intention. It starts with small, deliberate actions. Actions that push you just a little bit further each day. Start by doing one uncomfortable thing each day. Make it a habit. It could be something as simple as taking a cold shower, which shocks your system and builds resilience, striking up a conversation with a stranger, which can open new doors and perspectives, or finally tackling that task you've been putting off. Each small step builds momentum. The key is to consciously choose discomfort. Make it a deliberate part of your routine. Don't wait for it to find you. Seek it out. Embrace it with open arms. Seek it out. Embrace it. Because every time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your capacity for growth. Because every time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your capacity for growth. You become more resilient. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought possible. You build confidence and strength. Remember, this isn't about seeking out pain or suffering. It's about seeking growth and transformation. It's about challenging yourself in ways that promote growth. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. So, I want you to make a commitment to yourself right now. A commitment to growth. Commit to doing one thing every day that makes you uncomfortable. Embrace the journey of growth and transformation. Let's talk about discipline. It's a word that often gets a bad rap, but it's crucial for achieving any meaningful success. Now I know what you're thinking. Discipline, that sounds boring, restrictive, the opposite of freedom. But bear with me, but let me tell you, true freedom comes from mastering yourself, from having the discipline to control your impulses and make choices that align with your goals. It's about creating a life that you are proud of. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the path that connects your dreams to reality. It's the unwavering commitment to showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through the resistance. It's about making those tough choices day in and day out that lead to lasting change. It's the small, consistent actions that build up over time. Think of it like building a house. Every brick, every nail, every piece of wood is essential. You wouldn't just start slapping bricks together without a solid foundation, would you? No, you need a strong base to support the entire structure. You need a plan, you need structure, you need a blueprint to guide your actions. Discipline is that foundation. It's what keeps everything in place. It's the bedrock upon which you build a life of purpose, meaning, and achievement. Without it, everything else crumbles. Now, I'm not saying you have to become a robot, living a life devoid of joy or spontaneity. Balance is key, but I am saying that you need to be intentional with your time and energy. Every moment counts. You need to prioritize your goals and make choices that support them, even when it's hard. It's about making sacrifices for a greater reward. Here's a simple way to start building discipline. Start small. Small steps lead to big changes. Choose one area of your life where you want to see improvement. Focus your energy there. Maybe it's your health, your finances, or your relationships. Identify what matters most to you. Then, set a small, achievable goal for yourself in that area. Make it realistic and attainable. Once you've set your goal, create a plan of action. Outline the steps you need to take. Break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. This makes it less overwhelming and more achievable. And then, the most important part, hold yourself accountable. Consistency is key. Track your progress, celebrate your wins, and learn from your setbacks. Every step forward is progress. Let's talk about failure. That dreaded F word that sends shivers down most people's spines. We're conditioned from a young age to avoid failure, to see it as a sign of weakness or inadequacy. But let me tell you something, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Think about any successful person you admire. Do you think they got to where they are without facing any obstacles, without stumbling or falling along the way? Of course not. The difference is, they didn't let those setbacks define them. They didn't allow failure to crush their spirit. Instead, they embraced it as a learning opportunity, a chance to grow and come back stronger. So, how do we develop that same resilience? How do we learn to fall forward, to turn setbacks into fuel for growth? It starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing failure as a negative, see it as feedback. It's a sign that you're pushing your limits, that you're stepping outside your comfort zone. When you encounter a setback, don't beat yourself up. Don't allow negativity to take root. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this to grow and improve? Embrace the fall, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Let's talk about the power of your mind. It's more influential than you might think. You see, your mind is a powerful tool. It shapes your reality and influences your actions. It can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy depending on how you use it. The choice is yours. The thoughts you allow to take root in your mind, the words you repeat to yourself day in and day out, have a profound impact on your reality. They shape your beliefs and your actions. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're going to fail, guess what? You're setting yourself up for exactly that. You're setting yourself up for exactly that. Your brain believes what you tell it, and it acts accordingly. Your brain believes what you tell it. It doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. It doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. So, if you're constantly feeding it negativity, that's what it's going to focus on. So, if you're constantly feeding it negativity, that's what it's going to focus on. But here's the good news. You have the power to change your inner dialogue. But here's the good news. You have the power to change your inner dialogue. You can choose to focus on the positive, to speak words of encouragement and empowerment to yourself. You can choose to focus on the positive, to speak words of encouragement and empowerment to yourself. You can train your mind to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as stepping stones. You can train your mind to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as stepping stones. So, how do we reframe our negative thoughts? How do we silence those inner critics and replace them with a chorus of support and encouragement? It starts with awareness. How do we silence those inner critics and replace them with a chorus of support and encouragement? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. Are they mostly positive or negative? Are they mostly positive or negative? Are they empowering or limiting? Are they empowering or limiting? Once you're aware of your thought patterns, you can start to challenge them. Once you're aware of your thought patterns, you can start to challenge them. When you catch yourself thinking a negative thought, don't just let it slide. When you catch yourself thinking a negative thought, don't just let it slide. Stop and ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it true? Stop and ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it true? Is there another way to look at this situation? Is there another way to look at this situation? Then consciously choose to reframe the thought into something more positive and empowering. Remember, your mind is like a garden. If you want it to flourish, you need to tend to it with care. Nurture it with positive thoughts and watch it grow. If you want it to flourish, you need to tend to it with care. With consistent effort, you can transform your inner dialogue and ultimately your life. We've covered a lot of ground today, but it all comes down to this. Mental toughness isn't built overnight, but every step you take, every challenge you overcome, every limiting belief you shatter brings you closer to the best version of yourself. You have the power within you to achieve anything you set your mind to. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But it all starts with mastering your mindset, building that unbreakable spirit that can weather any storm. Your mind is your greatest tool. Sharpen it, hone it, and nothing can stop you. If this video inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content.